Can you talk to us about that initial transition?
Morning. Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, it was an incredible change, and it gave me so many opportunities to really hone in on the skill set that I had and to pursue further study and to go into employment. I'm now working, and yeah, especially to the ripple effect that they talked about. My younger sisters now want to go on to boarding school to succeed as well.
So you're essentially a bit of an inspiration story for your sisters, because it's so important, isn't it, to have role models, whether or not they're in the program, they're already seeing the path you're taking and saying they can do that too.
Yeah, definitely. And, I was the first person in my family to graduate high school, much less go to university. So we didn't really have, we didn't think we had the chance before the AIEF gave us the opportunity.
The success rate for employment is an astonishing one. This must be more than just, here's a nice school you can go to in Sydney. What else does the program entail?
I mean, there's professional mentoring opportunities, there's networking events, and also the real community and connection that I got through AIEF. Some of the people that I met on scholarships at other schools are some of my best friends to this day, as well as taking those networking and mentoring opportunities through my life and through my professional career.
And there's so much talk and hand-wringing really over the closing the gap targets, so many of them struggling. We've got a new approach now being pursued by the government, but going through this program, do you see aspects that could be used in other parts of life, not just education?
Yes, definitely. I think that a strengths-based, community-driven approach will always succeed. I think that there's power in education, and there's power when we educate our community.
So educating our community, this is about obviously opportunities for you, but also when you talk about being able to take control over your own destiny, was that an important part of this?
Yeah, self-determination is definitely key, and giving people the skills that they need to succeed will only then go on to benefit the community even more, that ripple effect like you talked about.
You're the Aboriginal Hospital Liaison Officer at Royal Melbourne Hospital, which at the moment involves you dealing with patients with COVID-19. What's that been like?
It's been hectic, I won't lie, but luckily our Aboriginal community in Victoria has actually handled COVID very, very well. We've had consistently low case numbers and low hospitalisations, which has been really beneficial.
I mean, has that been achieved? Because so much talk about different vulnerable groups in the community and, for example, in the Northern Territory, concern that COVID-19 could have a huge impact on Indigenous communities, but how has it been handled so well in Victoria?
I think it's been handled so well because of our Aboriginal medical services. People have culturally safe places where they can go to access healthcare before things get too bad, including COVID testing and supply packs for families that are home isolating as well.
How's your family felt about you being on the front line there as a health worker? We know there's been a lot of positive COVID-19 tests amongst health workers in Melbourne in particular. Are you getting some concerned phone calls?
Yeah, so my family is still back in New South Wales, so they call me quite a lot, but I keep them updated as much as I can and let them know that I'm staying safe on the front line and keeping myself healthy and missing them.
They're probably pretty proud as well that you're playing a part in all of this?
I'd hope so.
This is maybe a difficult question to answer, but where do you think you'd be right now without the scholarship program?
I don't think I would be where I am today. I think I got a lot of my opportunities through the mentoring that I had with AIEF. So I think that I wouldn't necessarily be in a bad position because of my family and the strength that we have, but I don't think I would be here talking to you as a Royal Melbourne Hospital employee or someone who graduated high school and university.
And did you have any reluctance to apply for a scholarship? It was obviously a big move to head to Sydney. There might be people out there watching thinking of doing this themselves. What would you say to them if they're a bit worried about taking a pretty big leap?
Yeah, I definitely did struggle with homesickness quite a lot. But, I got through that through my friends. A lot of people in boarding school struggle with homesickness, so you're never alone. And, imposter syndrome. But I just was constantly reminded by my family and friends that this was an opportunity that I had to take and that I could do it to better myself and my community.
Well, you've been a great success story. Gabrielle Ebsworth, appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.